Hey, it's Free, and welcome to this Sexucation series video blog episode of The Soul Growth. Today's message is going to be a little bit different. Normally I'm talking about education, but today this video is very, very important because I don't feel like it's talked about enough. Now, this video is going to be both for men and women because I want everyone to get something out of it, so please watch it all the way through to the end. I can only speak from a woman's perspective, so if I'm not coming off and presenting the man's side enough, by all means, hit me up, let me know, reach out to me so that I can better understand. But I can only speak from what I know, okay? So first, let me start by saying this. At the age of about 5, I was molested by a guy that was at my babysitter's house. We were left there alone, and he molested all of us, and I was the oldest of all the girls. And I don't even think I ever said anything to my mom. She caught wind of it from some other child that had told their parents, and the parent had told the babysitter, and it just turned into this whole mess. And I will talk about that a little bit more in future videos, but I kind of want to give you a little bit of background. From that point, I can tell you, I can count beyond my 10 fingers how many times I have been either molested, sexually assaulted, or otherwise. And so this is a really big deal. And you know what? It wasn't until very, very recent that I had an experience that helped me realize what I was doing in this situation to lead me to these points. And normally people get offended when they say, well, what did the woman or what did the victim do wrong? What did the victim do to cause this? Because it's like, well, I was just walking around minding my business and I didn't cause this. But you know what the reality is? It's not always that black and white. The root of it all is that men and women think very, very, incredibly differently. They see things from so many opposite ends of the spectrum. A woman can say something like, I want to be held, and a man may automatically think that means that she wants to have sex. Well, no, she literally wants to cuddle. And I'm sure you heard of that before, where a woman's like, she wanted to cuddle and all she wanted to do was cuddle, but things went left because he tried to have sex. So I really kind of want to hit on a few different things that I've learned and come to within all of this, and I hope that you're open to receive it. So to be honest, and this is my actual experience, more than 50% of assault or rape experiences that people have come from intimate relationships. It could be a family member. It could be someone that they're actually in a relationship with. There is a bunch of ways that this transpires, but the majority of them are often from someone that people actually know, that is close to them. And in a relationship, just because I say, or a woman says, or a man, because it happens on both sides, just because someone says yes one time, doesn't mean that it's going to be yes all the time. And that's something that people kind of forget. People feel like, well, how can you be raped by someone that you're in a relationship with? It is absolutely possible. Because to me, someone may not be in the mood or have that genuine desire to be intimate in that moment. And so you're taking their right to say no. You're taking their if they don't want it, they don't want it. And again, this can go man or woman. What I really want people to understand is that sometimes people are afraid to say no. I personally have been in situations where I may have been intimate with someone before and I didn't want to be intimate in that moment. Maybe I just wasn't feeling them. Maybe there was something else going on behind the scenes. However, I didn't feel like I could say no, or I felt obligated, and that meant that I was not giving my all, or that was the energy that man was usually looking for. Most men that I talk to, they say they want a woman to want them. Men want women to want them. Women want the same. But this is not something that's always conveyed very clearly. One thing I will say is that men's logic versus women's logic, again, is very, very different. A woman can say something like, hey, she might just want to lay up and be touched. But that doesn't mean that she wants to lay up and have sex. But a man, see, the downside to it is men are taught at a very young age, when they start interacting with women, that they have to learn how to read between the lines. And sometimes they're reading between lines that are not really meant to be read between. But it's an interesting balance that men have to hold. And I don't even know if women realize this, but men are taught, hey, she may feel like she has to say no, so she says no. They don't understand that no actually means no. And so that's one of the first key points that I want to actually make. For the women specifically, because I don't really know how it goes with men and men or anything like that, but give a firm and solid no. No in between. Because my biggest issue is I've tried to be polite. Oh, well, I don't think that's a good idea. Well, that comes off as, I think I could push her a little harder because she doesn't seem sure about her no. Some people actually, a lot of guys definitely need a straight up no. If they don't get that straight up no, then they will continue to push. And this usually applies in a more intimate setting rather than out in someone's abusing you or something like that. And there are plenty of videos out there on how to respond if someone is actually trying to rape you or anything like that. Go ahead, go check those out. I'll put some down in the description. But I just kind of want to touch on understanding that you have to give a firm and solid no. Because more often than not, most of the experiences that I know that I've had is because I didn't give a firm and solid no. I was like, kinda, and that gives a very mixed signal to people. What I really want men to understand is that women are about 70% mind, 30% body. So even if her body is responding to you, because biologically she will respond to touch, she will respond to, if you're kissing on her or something like that, biologically her body language might be telling you yes. But if she's not mentally there yet, baby, you just can't, because that's only 30% of the way. And it sucks because I know normally we can read body language, but because there's so much gray area when it comes to consent and actually being involved with someone, you really kind of have to, get her mentally to that place. This is why women, that whole foreplay and everything, because if she's not mentally even thinking about it, because men can sometimes think about sex a lot more than women. I'm not going to say that's always the case, but men sometimes think about sex a lot more than women. So a woman might not even be thinking about sex. If you're trying to get her to that place, what are you going to do? You're going to warm her up and kind of get her into that mindset. It doesn't make sense to try to just pressure her and just be like, expect her to be ready, right? Like I said, she can start to respond, but you got to keep that energy going. Consent is everything, and that's the most important thing about this video. Consent, consent, consent. Create a safe word. And if that seems awkward, if you feel like you have to say go every single time that you become intimate with someone, it's too much, that's okay. I get that. Then go for a non-safe word. I know you guys have probably seen the Kevin Hart thing when you talk about pineapples. Make up a non-safe word that says, okay, I'm not in that energy, I'm not in that space right now, I can't do it. These are conversations that people need to have, but most of the time these conversations are not actually held. And the understanding needs to be, hey, if I say pineapples, that's it. It stops there. Not, apply a little more pressure. Pineapples is a clear and distinct no. And I'm not saying use pineapples. Use whatever word you come up with, whatever makes you safe, whatever makes you feel happy, and whatever cannot be mistaken for another word in the midst of if it's whispered or anything like that. That's why they chose a word like pineapples, okay? Everyone needs to listen with their ears and not their emotions. And that just applies in general, but especially in this type of situation when it comes to sex. Listen with your ears, babies. Please, loves. Not babies like babies. I'm calling you my babies. Listen with your ears, not with your emotions. Think with your thoughts. Not so much that it takes you out of the mood, but just make sure that you're aware of what's going on, because we have to step into the awareness. If it's not a hell yes, then consider it a hell no. I love that message. Like, basically it breaks down, if she's not giving you a very adamant yes, then you should probably either ask her, are we good? Is this okay? Can we proceed? And the same goes for women, because it's not just women that are victims. Men are too, That is my message for today about how to avoid rape and sexual assault. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment below or shoot me a message at TheSoulGrowth@gmail.com. I'll have all that information down in the bottom. I thank you so much for your time. This has been a little bit of a longer message, but it was very important, and I really kind of want to just get it off my chest. It's been heavy on my heart for a very long time because I had been so confused and conflicted about what it is. And when I really understood, like, when you really understand men think differently than women, and this applies to both sides, when you really understand that, it means that you have to ask more questions. That's all that really means. We have to be clear, because I could send you a message and have a completely different meaning than what you may have perceived it. It just depends on where your head is at in that time. Are you looking for an advance from me? Are you hoping that it's an advance from me or from your lady? Excuse me. If that's where your head is at, then that is pretty much how you will perceive it. If that's what you're hoping for, because that little glimmer of when you have a hope for something, anything, many things can become a glimmer of that hope. And the reality is, it may not necessarily be intended as that, because that person may not even know that that's where your head is at, honestly. So I know I have rambled just a little bit longer than I wanted to, but there's so much that I want to say about this because this is such an important message. I have had many, too many experiences because I didn't have someone really showing me what it means. Where did I go wrong? Where did I misstep? How did I give that impression? What did I say? What did I do? You know? And, you know, I just felt helpless sometimes. And it's not okay. But do I fault them? Not really. Because I also understand that people are people. And if you can communicate about it, you can understand where the blurred lines may have been there if you can try to talk about it. But I don't want this to be a common occurrence for anyone else. So I hope this has helped you to understand. There's other information out there, but there isn't an abundance of it. But as soon as I find a really good article, I'll go ahead and put it in the description, and hopefully it'll do you some good. Thank you so much. That's my time. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And trust me, I mean what I say. If you email me, I will respond. Okay? I offer counseling. I offer one-on-ones. I do meditations with people. I'm open. Don't forget to subscribe and notify if you like this message. Definitely want you to keep up with this Sexucation series because it's going to be awesome. Love and light. Mwah.